Hey, spooky friends, and welcome to the Three Twisted Sisters, hosted by Britt, Kay,
and Lexi.
And if you guys are watching this on YouTube, you will see that, yes, Brittany is with us right now in person. And you'll also see that we have two guest stars today. We have our mother, Alyssa, and we have Brittany's husband, Josh.
Hey.
Yep. Say hi to the fans, guys.
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
So this episode is Guest Stars Twisted Tales, and we're going to talk about some little spooky ooky tales, kind of like a round table or like a campfire session with our guest stars, which again are Mom and Josh.
So just to introduce you guys a little bit to our guests, we're going to start with like a rapid fire questionnaire game. And if we've experienced it, we will just say yes and raise our hand. So Brittany, do you want to start with a question?
Yes. So let's see. Do you believe in UFOs?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Do we all here believe in ghosts or paranormal instances? Yes.
Yep.
Does anyone believe? My question's stupid.
What?
I knew you were gonna say it.
Wow. So does anyone believe that the earth is flat? Say aye.
I don't believe the earth is flat.
It's funny you brought it up.
Have we all experienced some like ghost encounters?
Yes.
Aye.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
She changed it.
Aye,
aye, Captain.
So, final question: has everybody here experienced sleep paralysis?
Yes.
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 You haven't, Mom?
I haven't ever experienced that, no.
Wow, must be nice.
Yeah. What is it like when you hear us tell you about our sleep paralysis stuff?
I think it's interesting, but I've never experienced it myself, or at least not consciously. Maybe that's it.
Nice.
Maybe I dream my way through it and you guys don't.
You're so much stronger than it's gonna help you, Marvel. Maybe.
How about you, Josh?
Yeah, I could write a book on sleep paralysis.
Oh,
When did it
You could
start?
write a
How
book.
old were you when it started?
Like 11, 12.
Oh,
And then all through, probably till I was like 20 years old, it stopped.
What kind of things would you see? Like, was it the same kind of thing every time, or?
Yeah, it was it was worst when I would be sleeping on my stomach and then I couldn't see anything,
on your
versus-
stomach? That's when you
Yeah.
would get more? Ooh,
I
that was
mean,
like
that
like,
was
in your sleep paralysis one where she would sleep on her stomach and the night hag would open her mouth up from behind like this, like that.
Yeah, that never happened to me. Thank
Thank
God.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Because I
thank
feel
you,
like-
thank you, thank you.
The times that I've had sleep paralysis, I feel like if like it happens when I'm usually on my back. Like one time I was on my side, but I feel like if I'm on my stomach, I'm like safe from it. So did yours happen more often when you were on your stomach?
No, it was just like when I was laying on my front, it was always a lot scarier because you can't scan the room,
Yeah, that's freaky.
Ugh, but even scanning the room, that's
yeah,
the part
that's a
that
lot too.
I over the years I stopped doing because I'm like, I'm gonna see something and I can't open my eyes.
So
What
how
happened-
often between those ages did you experience it?
It would be like a couple times a week.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Your earliest one?
Yeah, I was like 11 or 12.
Tell us the story, hun.
Well, I don't really remember the first one. There's
That's
so
the first
many.
one.
There's
Your
so
early-
many it would happen so often that I would wake up and then for a split second, like I would be fine, and then like I knew that it was coming, and then all of a sudden you're just like, "Shoo."
Yeah.
So like
Oh.
almost like you had like a spidey sense.
Yeah, like your body
Yeah,
would get you out of it before it happened.
yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes I would like if I felt it like coming on, I would try and move, and sometimes if I can move first, then I would be good. But sometimes I would try and move, and it would be too late, and just
That
So what did you see? Did you see the same like spirit every single time?
sometimes I wouldn't see anything, and then sometimes the like shadowy stuff that you see.
No. Did you ever feel it sitting on your chest?
Yeah, I think that's like the whole like premise, you know.
That's the whole point of it is to feel someone on your chest.
Yeah.
So what did it feel like the times you didn't see any spirits?
Just like you're like locked in. It's always scary, so like you feel.
Like impending doom. Like I can't do this. Like it's.
I mean, like it happens so often that it would just be like, all right, fuck, I just gotta wait, and then
what
I'm
would you say
just
is
like,
scary? The not seeing anything or the seeing stuff?
it was all kind of the same to me, because I would just kind of say like, I mean, it's a dark room, so maybe
You didn't
like
have a
you're seeing-
nightlight?
No.
Yeah, okay, sure. Do you think a nightlight would have even helped?
The
The fear.
nightlight illuminates the
I feel
room
like
that you're stuck
now
in.
that we've all said nightlight a couple times, it doesn't sound like that's the right like it sounds
Nightlight.
weird. Nightlight.
Night.
Sometimes it wouldn't even be
Nightlight.
nighttime though. It would be like early morning.
Dang.
Ooh. That was gonna be my next question is like what time did it happen? So sometimes it
Yeah.
happened when the sun was up.
Yeah.
Ew.
It would happen a lot if I would like wake up early and then do something and then go back to bed. When I would go back to bed for like 3 hours maybe, it would be a lot of dreams and a lot of waking up and a lot of sleep paralysis. Like when I would
Wow.
wake
You were
up.
moving on spirits since you were like 11
Like helping
In
them
your
cross
sleep.
over.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
because
What
I
did-
fully think that that's what I experienced in high school was for whatever reason they would come to me, so they probably did that with him.
Mm-hmm. What about what kind of nightmares would you have like when you had sleep paralysis, or would you have them before?
Yeah, it would be before, and then because I don't think I would like, I don't know, maybe sometimes it would still be dreaming during the sleep paralysis. Um, but as far as me remembering what dreams, I don't know.
Tell them the story of like when we were married, just barely married.
Oh yeah, so this was like probably the last time that I had it, honestly. 20 years old. Brittany and me had been married for like a day, and
Oh, it's so scary.
I woke up and I knew that it was coming. I'm locked in, right? I can't move. And I'm trying to like move my pinky to like get her awake, right? Because I figured if she woke up, she could like shake me and get me out of it. So I'm like trying to move my hand. I'm like trying to like shake her leg. And then she like turned around and she had this scary ass face.
Describe
And
it. Describe it.
like kind of like that thing that the kids were obsessed with for a while.
Momo.
Yeah,
I
like
don't know what
that.
it looks like.
Sorry.
Kind of scary.
Yeah, it was like that.
Kind of like a drawn out.
And
So this is Momo.
That's what you saw?
That's
yeah,
what
it was
looked
it was
Kind of,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's super creepy.
Were my eyes like big and blue? or
They were
what?
just like blacked out eyeballs.
Did she say anything to you?
Yeah, she was like, "This isn't Brittany."
Oh hell no! Ew, I got chills
Seriously.
on one side. What did the voice
Yeah.
sound like?
It sounded like that. It sounded like, "This isn't Brittany."
Ew.
Ew.
Sounds like a hell of a nightmare to me.
Ew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he got out of it and he like shook me awake and he was like, "Baby, you're not gonna believe what just happened." I was like, "We're sleeping with the light on." That room was so creepy.
What if you
to
had
sleep
like a
in.
ghost that had a crush on you and then got upset
Mhm.
that you were married now?
That's what I'm thinking.
That would make sense because that was like the last time that it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I had to just like
Yeah.
move on.
Just one last scare, one last night together.
Ew.
Ew. I don't know what I would do if I was paralyzed like that. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is freaking terrifying. And if you just like rolled over trying to get comfort from your significant other and then they roll over and they're that,
Mhm.
no thank
Yeah, that's what some scary movies are made of. Stuff like
you.
that.
Literally.
Big
Yeah.
time.
Look at
I
this.
can't believe you've never experienced sleep paralysis.
Mm-mm.
That's crazy.
Is it?
So it's
Yeah.
it is. I would feel like I don't know.
Yeah. Especially like the houses we've lived in.
Yeah,
Like, no,
I
thank
fully think because that even
Hello?
you. Chip.
And there was another time too where I was driving home. It was like 11 o'clock, and I'm just like driving home, and then I like turned back because it felt like somebody was like sitting in my back seat, and it was like heavy. It was so heavy, like for like a mile. I just kept like turning back and like looking at that back seat, like there was somebody sitting there. I was definitely like haunted.
yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Was.
when that happened, babe.
Like 18.
Oh,
Mm.
jeez. So that actually reminds me of a time that Josh and I had this town that we lived in. There was a lake that we loved to go to. So we went and pulled into the woods and we're like making out, whatever. And
Oh.
La 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 la.
because we both get this feeling like instantly creeped out, heaviness in the car, and we're both like, we need to get out of here right now. And so like Josh reverses and like we head back home, and for like a mile or two it just felt like dark heaviness in the back seat, and it was like someone came and like popped in and was like, what's going on? So
Pervs.
yeah, just really awful. So I don't know, it was like maybe a month later or 2 months later.
But what made it so scary was everything was fine until we rolled down the windows.
Oh
Remember
yeah, babe.
Babe.
It's like rolling down the windows just like let some scary shit in.
They're like,
Yeah.
hey, don't mind if I do.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
creepy.
I didn't know glass could keep them out.
Well, maybe it was
Just-
more of like an invitation when they
That's-
rolled down. They were
Come
like,
on in.
That's
Yeah.
just what it
Don't
felt
mind
like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so creepy and heavy, and as soon as it passed we were both like, that was really weird. That was scary.
maybe there was someone, maybe there was someone like a live person peeping on you through the woods, and that was like your spirit guide
Instinctually.
telling you,
Yeah.
it
like
Yeah.
get out.
because what did I say? Okay, so this same part of the woods, we go like back during the day, and we're like walking down the path that where the car was parked, And we look over, and in the middle of the woods, like, you have to like be walking at this point or on your car, but it's like not a public road by any means. And here on the right hand side is like an old ass cemetery, like very close to where we parked our car, and we were like, what the fuck?
But also could have been a creeper hanging in the cemetery. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for sure, because we had tried to go camping there, and I could not settle down, and I was like pitching
Someone down now.
Yeah, I was like, Josh, I can't do this. Like, we need to go home. And
I was so mad.
I know.
Because I carried all this stuff. It's like a mile walk.
We walked like a mile to the lake spot where we were going to sleep. And then when we got there, I was like, no, we need to leave. We need to leave right now. So who freaking knows?
You didn't feel it that time, Josh?
No, that time I didn't actually feel anything. And even the night of the graveyard thing, I was like, no, it's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
I don't feel it.
You're like, I'm trying to make out with you. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah. Just let it go.
It's fine. Yeah, it was so. Ugh, get us out.
That is so creepy.
Mm-hmm. Where would you say, just based off of like our experiences and stuff, was like the creepiest house we've lived in?
I know which one you're gonna say, but I'm gonna say the Gaffney house.
Why?
Because we had the most stuff happen there. Well, for me, that's why I say you're gonna say a different house, but
for me, for you.
How that house? That's the one that you would drive by and be like, ew.
I hated that. I didn't even go into it, but that vibe just driving on the street next to it was not good. No bueno.
Yeah.
One of her houses in Virginia.
Yeah, it was the first house that we had rented. And I don't know, little stuff here and there, but we'd have our baby cam set up and she's sitting there like laughing and talking to things.
That's creepy.
And Josh goes down there to like retuck her in. And he sees how tall were they, would you say?
Look, this story is not accurate because Brittany will say that I saw some like tall things and then I was like, nope.
Tell us your side then.
Tell us your side then.
Let's hear your version.
Well, honestly, I don't really remember. I remember what happened. I opened up the door and then I saw like these like tall I thought they were like aliens were like standing in her room.
And what did you do, baby?
See, I highly doubt that I just like said fuck this and shut the door and left our daughter in there.
But it's possible.
You came down the hall and you told me and I was like, she's still in there.
Okay, yeah, you're right. That's what happened. And then we went and got her, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Forget about it.
So what made you think that they might be aliens?
Because they kind of looked like aliens, like those tall, like gray, like skinny.
They were gray?
Gray.
Was it like, did it look like an apparition or did it look like a solid?
Like an apparition.
Yeah, did it look like a gray
Like
spirit
shadowy?
or did it look like solid, like a body?
Yeah. Like fuzzy, you know?
Fuzzy.
Like your eyes don't focus on it.
Okay.
Like imagine taking a picture of like my hand, but the wall is in focus and then this would be blurry. That's
right.
That's how it is whenever you see shit, you know?
Yeah.
You know you're talking to a photographer when he does something like that to explain it just looks out of focus.
Yeah.
So wait, she woke up and was talking to the camera, and then that's what made you guys go in there?
No, she always talked to all sorts of things. And I would be looking at her camera and going like, is that an orb? Like, what is that like shiny thing on the like ball on the thing? And I'm like, what the heck?
But what made you go into her room
The
that
ball
night?
and the thing, I'm like,
Giggling.
Yeah.
She would giggle and like talk to nothing and just da 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 da, you know, go on and on and on.
Get out of bed.
Oh,
Yep.
man.
She was an
Dance,
escape
like
artist.
jump around.
Mm-hmm.
She was
Yeah.
basically like, fuck what my parents said. When she was like a baby, like a toddler.
Oh yeah. She was like,
Mhm.
oh yeah.
Oh,
She was
yeah.
like a year and a
Oh
half,
yeah,
2
yeah.
years. But no, we had another crazy experience in that house too. Now
Yeah.
that I'm thinking about it.
The
That one was
one.
the creepiest house to me. The other house that I would talk about is
The Astoria house.
So you would say that she would say the Astoria house?
Yeah.
Why? Is that true?
why?
Why the Astoria house?
Yeah.
Just because of the one time where I was out at sea and then you sent me that email saying like the house was just like popping off. Like with the doorknob and Sarah was there. You know what? Like I wanted to just like say like no, it's fine because I was just dying to like go home. But that night that we like pulled in because we were gonna stay at our friend's house and we went there to get some of my stuff and like it definitely like felt like just heavy.
Well, I was on
Yeah.
FaceTime with you guys when some of that stuff was happening, and it was icky.
It was
Mhm.
wild.
And not to mention, it was like I was watching the Blair Witch Project with them like moving the FaceTime all over the place and screaming, freaking out. But
Yeah.
but it was unexplainable.
Unexplainable and just creepy.
Mm-hmm.
That house, I would say, is probably the most active and in your face, but the Gaffney house was definitely the more like sinistery vibes.
Mm-hmm.
I did not like that house. Now, the most active house, whatever I've ever lived in, is either Mom's house or the Sherman house.
I was gonna say the Sherman house. I mean, Mom's house has a lot going on, but the Sherman house was so creepy. Mom, okay. So mother,
I love that house.
I know you love that house, but you experienced stuff in that house too. So what's something that you
I did, but it wasn't negative. So, it was an
All
older
you look at
house.
it.
Yeah, that's Mom's.
And,
It's not how you look at it.
It is.
So
I love that house. It was one of my favorites.
What's a story of something paranormal that happened at the house for you?
Well, I mean, there was little things, but I remember one time I had just told you guys, or I'd left you, downstairs watching TV or whatever when I was getting ready to go somewhere. And I was upstairs getting ready and I could see somebody looking around I was like, what are you guys doing up here? And there was nobody there, but there was somebody there. You have things like on the side of your peripheral. This was just a little bit more clear than that. It was like looking around a corner. And so I was like, who is it? And I got up and walked and nobody was there. And went downstairs and you guys were still watching your show. I was like, oh. And I sometimes would just feel like something touching me, like the back of my leg, I remember. But
What
yeah,
story do you think was
Which
the most
level?
was the most creepy?
the basement. I didn't like the basement at night, but the fact that my husband would like dare people spend the night in my basement, I'll pay $100. I mean,
That's so funny.
well, now I don't want to spend the night down there because you've creeped me out about it. But yeah, the basement was just a little bit.
Where would you get the leg touching?
Upstairs.
Nothing's like a big deal, but it's still creepy because you know it's really happening. And
Oh yeah, I definitely felt like it was really there. But like your dad, oh, he felt a lot more in that house than I ever did. You know, because I loved it. So my
See, what
love
I
looked
think
past anything else in there. I was just like, oh, my little house.
what I think it's like is the mom from Haunting of Hill House.
Hill
where
House.
Her whole family is being like tormented and they know it's like demonic, but the mom is like, this is my beautiful house.
I don't think it's
Real.
nothing quite like that. Because everybody loved to come to that house. I mean, friends of ours, they would always be like, let's go to Alyssa's house because
You're right.
it just had a vibe for people to gather there. It was good.
Yeah, they also had a vibe, a spookiness to it of haunted people.
It's like, bring me more souls.
There's
Yeah.
some funny stuff. Like I remember we saw a psychic once and just house stuff going, and she was like, she goes, "Did you make your kitchen all white?" I was like, "We had just finished redoing the whole kitchen, remodeling it, and we did it in like an off-white. We painted all the cabinets, and so yeah, it was pretty white." And she was like, "Oh, they don't like the white." And then she was saying how they are traveling like in this circle through the kitchen, out the door, and through the basement door, and then upstairs. I was like, "Oh yeah," because the kitchen had a door that exited outside onto a screened-in porch, and then there were stairs, and then underneath those stairs was the basement door. If you went in the basement door, then you go, or in the basement, you come up the basement stairs, and then there's the kitchen. So it was like a circle. So I just thought, oh, they're. She said, oh, they travel in this circle, and I was like, oh, that is how the house is. That's cool. But it never bothered me. One time sitting out on that screen porch though, and our cat was just staring in the corner, and then I tried to get him, it's okay, whatever, and he just freaked out. I'm like, there's nothing in the corner, but he definitely saw something there.
Mm-hmm.
What was that? Okay, never mind.
For real.
Right?
Well, Mom, there also were cut off staircase. There were cut off staircase to go all the way upstairs to the attic and back.
There were things that were weird that a lot of people in the paranormal world are like, oh, if you have these weird unfinished places or stairs that lead to nowhere or doors that open to nothing, like that heightens paranormal stuff happening.
The stairs went to the attic until they refinished the attic. I love those stairs too because they were like the perfect place to store books and stuff.
Everything that's wrong with that house you loved.
Yeah.
I really did love that. Yeah. How about the fact that staircase also had a door, and on the other side of that door was the screened-in porch?
Yeah.
And the other side of the door was the guest room closet.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Mm-hmm. So it's like doors, stairs that go to nowhere.
Yeah, but anyway, it was a cool house.
Would you ever buy it again?
No.
Like if we had to move back to Missouri, would you, and it was available, you would never buy it again?
No, I mean, if it fell in my lap, sure. But no, I've kind of moved past that in my life,
Mm.
It was just a tiny little bungalow that had add-ons, including the attic. So, I remember the Francis house in the closet, in the downstairs closet had a door that didn't go anywhere.
Yeah. There was a lot of weird stuff in that house too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I love that house too. I didn't love that as much as the other house though. I don't think we stayed in it long enough.
More.
Yeah, I liked that house more than the Sherman.
It felt way better. The spiritual energy there felt so.
I think the Francis ghosts were like, they were just like here for a good time, not a long time type of vibe. Whereas the Sherman house was like, we're gonna suck your soul out of you.
Yeah, we want to scare the children. We like
scaring obviously kids are going to be scared. What are you going to do?
See, we're not
Just,
exaggerating when we say our
say a
parents-
prayer, say, protect my kids. Good night.
Mhm.
All is well.
What would
Ghosts
you
are
do?
ghosts are not going to hurt you.
Yeah.
What would you
It's,
do when
it's
you'd
the
see
living that hurt you. Huh?
Oh my
Mom
God.
quote? When you would see the chalk door on your chimney.
Yeah, did you ever see that?
Oh, well, that did. I think you guys told me about it after I was like, "What the heck is this?" But wasn't that for you guys did it
Mm-hmm.
after watching Harry Potter or something?
Beetlejuice.
It's like, why is yeah? Of course, when you don't realize somebody does something and you see it, it's like, what the heck?
Oh, Mom, tell us about the incident in the living room and when we were all like,
I think it was some kid that did it. Some
Who?
kind of
Who
little.
would have done it?
I
First of all, let's
don't
say what
know.
it is. I remember it like it was yesterday. Mom, we're like playing, and Mom starts screaming, like, "Get down here now!" And like the three of us are like, "Oh crap, what did we do?" And we get down there and we're like, "What?" And she goes, let me see your hands. Let me see your fingers. Give me your fingers. And we were like, "What?" And we show her, and she's like looking at all of them, and she was like, "Who cut their finger? Who cut their finger?" And we were like, "None of us cut our finger, crazy lady." But I had a hangnail, and I was like, "I mean, I have a hangnail." She was like,
Yeah,
"Who
yeah,
did this?
yeah.
Who did this to the wall?" And it was a
Pentagram.
pentagram on the wall, and it looked like it was in blood. And we were like, "Oh my God, like none of us did that." And we were freaking out, and she was like, "Go, just go." But now she's like all hippie love. It's all great. She was freaked out when she saw that, and we were freaked out.
Yeah.
So go ahead and tell that your side of that story.
I was just like, who did this? That's all.
Oh my God.
That's
I
not
was
something you
like,
put on the
who
wall.
did this?
That's not okay. We're not all about that. I mean, whoever is good, but that's not our thing.
Uh-huh. But what other children could have done it?
Like one of y'all's
Tasha.
friends from outside, outside. One of y'all's friends that wasn't
Outside.
locked away in the cellar. It seemed like that girl from down the street was one that you guys were thinking might have.
Yeah, I don't know. That would
That's
be a
crazy.
weird ass thing for her. She was a weird ass kid, but that would be really weird.
What would be even weirder is if we did do it, but we don't remember because they possessed us.
That
Ew.
seems
Yeah,
But no, they
it
would have had marks on her.
was not that true.
not if you got blood animal.
Whoa!
Oh my God. What the hell?
Take it somewhere else there.
Yeah.
No, it was
You were
Scab.
possessed.
it's like, no, don't be putting pentagrams in the house. That we don't need anything like that. Unless it's, positive, just keep it, stay out.
But you didn't always think that, because there was a time where we were now forbidden to use a Ouija board.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Poor Kay.
I mean, they're creepy. But when I was younger, we played them. Me and my friends played them. We were crazy because who knows? And maybe some of the spirits that you guys have experienced in your life were ones that have been hanging around me. Who knows? But they don't bother me, so I don't mind. But
They can bother
yeah.
you guys all they want. All they want. I don't give a
When it was like, because I don't know, they're very creepy, and yeah, your dad and I both. I don't think your dad ever did one. He was like, nope, 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 stay away from those. So we kind of both agreed that that's not something. But y'all did other crazy things that we didn't think about that were probably just as bad as a Ouija board.
So what happened that scared you so bad with the Ouija boards?
Well, just like stuff that was real. Once we were like, who's here? And what it started spelling out was someone in my family, part of someone who had passed away from my family. And I was like, nobody would have known that. Stuff like that.
Oh.
But around that time too, there's always something weird happening. Like, I remember my sister telling me one day about she felt like somebody was in the car with her when she was driving home, and she was telling me the story. And the room we were sitting in, there was a big ball on top of the lamp shade, and it just came bouncing off. And we were like, "What?" And then a picture frame fell, and there was nothing that could have. Anyway, we were both like, "Okay, let's get on out of here for right now." And it was more like, "Ah!"
Yeah, I was gonna say, I heard both of you tell that story, and both of you said that when the
Oh
picture
my gosh!
you went,
Yeah.
"Ah!"
Yeah, because it was like right after and it was like, okay, there was an energy in the room for sure from Teresa telling the story. And, yeah, it was like those things happen, boom, boom. Okay, I'm out.
Yeah.
But that was from when I was a teenager. So,
When was like the first time that you ever experienced something paranormal, Mom?
yeah, I don't know. Probably more like when I was an adolescent, teenage, almost teenager, somewhere in there. Although,
don't remember-
creepy stuff always happens when you're a kid. But some of that is just being a scared kid,
Like what? Because not every kid, not every not everyone has experienced paranormal stuff. I've actually met like a good handful of people that are like, I don't believe in ghosts. I've never experienced anything. It's like, okay, NPC.
There's something, because I did always, from being a young kid, I always loved graveyards. So maybe I'm weird, but
Yeah.
the graveyard in the tiny town that my family's originally from, we'd always walk down there, and we just thought it was fun to go and visit our ancestors and look at other ones. And the ones that had pictures, those just fascinated us. But later when I was a teenager, we would hang out at the graveyard. Me and my friends would have picnics there. And later on, I had a job there. So I think I had an attraction to graveyards, and just kind of sometimes when you're in a graveyard or a mausoleum or whatever, you can feel an energy that's around. And so I always felt that kind of thing. But again, nothing too horrible or scary or
Nothing
that would
scary happened when you worked at the graveyard?
nothing that would freak me out so bad that I'd be like, I'm not going back there. No, you just like feel like, oh, and I would just be out there watering, because I was a lawn waterer. And I'd just be talking, to whoever was there. You like how I'm giving you some extra water today? It looks like this area still needs some help to really green up. You okay with this?
Oh,
Hope you're, hanging.
hope you're having a nice sleep.
You could see their names if there was a tombstone right. So, hey, Mary, how you doing today? I'm just gonna wash that bird poop off your tombstone for you.
You're so cute, a little weirdo.
Totally a weirdo. Yeah. And then sometimes we would sneak in at night to that same graveyard.
And that's the one that we went to with you.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was a
cool
really pretty graveyard.
It's so cool there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's in Colorado.
Yeah.
It's so pretty.
Yeah.
Super old.
Yeah.
How old was it? Do you know?
It's I don't know, but I should look it up. But it's a pretty old one. Yeah. It's just so beautiful. I know that there's some things like, historic about it, but also of interest. Like, they have so many different kinds of trees that it attracts a lot of animals and stuff. So it's just a cool place, but it has the creepiest ass mausoleum. So you go in there and you start thinking like of scary movies. What's going to happen in here? So I think mausoleums are creepy, but
yeah,
graveyards are so cool.
Interesting.
I remember walking the white marble and being like, there's people in there.
Yeah. And just halls and halls and halls. It seems like never ending. Like, my gosh.
Yeah.
I just needed a bathroom. Can I get out of here?
Now we've had paranormal investigators come to the house you currently live in.
Mhm.
Now, what experiences have either of you? We'll start with Mom. Have you experienced in the house that you currently live in?
Again, because I think I'm a little bit more relaxed than you guys are sometimes. I know that the kids, when they were little, they would see things. They were scared of the hall or whatever. So it's like, well, they're little, so they probably are seeing spirits that we can't see anymore, you know. And so it was more like through them or whatever. But there has been times where I'm just like, something there, you know, you just kind of feel it or see it or sense it. But I think it was around the time you guys were getting the place, whatever the Ghostbusters did. That I was walking down the hall and I heard just clear as day, and there was no windows open or anything, but just look at me. I was like, "Pah." Nobody's even here, and I just heard it so clear. But it would have been an auditory hallucination or somebody saying, "Look at me." I'm like, "Look at what?"
That's so creepy.
That is creepy. I mean, I've heard of like voices and stuff in that house a few times, and they actually caught some in that episode that they did of the house.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's cool. But again, I don't feel anything negative, and that's what I always said to both of you, isn't it? That I don't feel any negative energy here, so it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Don't Miss Lexi, zip it.
What? I didn't.
She's going, oh.
No, I said that giant eye roll.
Mm-hmm.
Not from me.
Sure. Okay, Josh,
that's it.
what creepy stuff have you experienced in Mom's current house?
The one thing that comes to mind was it was in the evening and I was sitting on the couch watching TV, and we had just put the kids to bed like a little bit earlier, and like out of the corner of my eye I see your oldest boy run down and go to get something to eat, and like a couple minutes go by, and then I was like, hey dude, like, do you need anything? And I like walked in there and there was nobody in the kitchen.
But he saw the polo run.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What if the ghost was just taking his shirt to the laundry room?
Really nice, but they never did that.
That would have been really nice. They should have been doing stuff like that, because that would have made everybody happier.
Yeah.
Okay, so just to kind of close out this episode, let's discuss, like psychic experiences or like spirituality kind of vibey stuff. First of all, who believes in like crystal energy?
Yeah, I do.
Me too.
I mean, energy's everywhere. And some things hold it much better than others, and different types of crystals absolutely do. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What do you think, babe?
So, yeah.
Have we all seen a psychic before?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Which do you guys prefer in a psychic, like a palm reader or tarot cards, if you could choose?
I've never had a palm read. I've only done the cards, so I can't I can't say which one is like more like, oh, I feel like this is more right.
I think I like tarot cards more, but I read tarot cards, so I like them. I mean, I can read palms too, but your palms also change, which is very interesting. But the dogs are going crazy. Don't mind them.
I usually prefer, I would say, someone that reads cards, but or even like a medium, but I had this one lady once read my palm, and she said, she said, "Oh, you have 4 children," and I was like, "No." She said, "Well, you have 3 living and 1 that didn't make it." And then I was like, kind of got chills because not very many people know that I'd had a miscarriage forever ago. And she's like, "Oh, they all count." I was like, "Okay." But then she said, "But you have the 3 children are like 2 and 1. Do you have twins?" And it was just funny. I was like, "No, but I know what you mean," because Brittany and Kayla were close in age and they were kind of a lot younger than Natasha. So it's always been like they were the twins. And so 2 and 1, I totally got that right off the bat. But I'm like, "You got all that from my palm?"
Right.
And, oh, she saw me going in a different career direction. And that came up later too, because I was going to school in education and was like, "Oh, am I going to get a job as a teacher?" And I had this psychic lady. She's like, "No." And I just was like, "Oh, wait, what? I'm about to get my license. I'm about to be done. What do you mean, no?" She was like, "No, I see you going into healthcare of some sort." And I was like, "Mm-mm. No way, Jose."
Absolutely.
So, like the next year and a half or so, I was trying to find a teaching job and I couldn't find one. So I finally decided I'm just going to go and get my master's, and I always wanted to get my master's. I was going to do it eventually anyway. And I was like, I get my master's in counseling, and then if I decide to go off and do counseling after teaching for a while, I'll be able to do that. Blah 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 blah. But I don't know. It was a long time after it hit me. I was like, she said I wasn't going to be a teacher and I was going to go in the health field, and look what I did. Dang it. But it was years later that I even thought back on it and was like, oh my gosh, doggone it.
Ow,
She was right. But at the time I was like, she doesn't know what she's talking about. I'm getting a job teaching. Whatever you say, lady, you don't know me.
What about you, Josh?
Yeah, I've seen some psychics. There was one that me and Brittany saw. It was right before I was going to go into the Navy, and I had said that to her, and she was like, "I see you going out to sea a lot," and we were just kind of like, "Yeah," you know. And then because the thing about like psychics and me is like I feel like a lot of it is manipulated and not real. Like a lot of people use that to like take advantage. But then she said, she was like, "And your dad is really proud of you and like where you're going." And that caught me off guard. And yeah. And then there was another one that we saw. It was when we were living in the Gaffney house. And I think me and Brittany were like asking about like the house being haunted.
There was the second house there.
Huh?
Because we were fixing to leave the Astoria house.
Wait, you were fixing to?
Yeah.
We were fixing to leave.
She's fixing to.
I think it was the Gaffney house.
No, because we were with Sarah and Steve.
Are we thinking of the same story?
Maybe not. I'm sorry. You tell your story.
Thanks for that, Britt. You?
No more interrupting, Brittany.
It's the one where they had said like the spirit that's in your house like says that they're like family. So if you wanted to leave, you're gonna have to tell them to leave. But I think that was the Gaffney house because we were like, oh shit, because we would even see my dad in that house, you know?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
But the Astoria house is where we saw a psychic who said the spirit there is very familiar with you, and they're going to miss you when you move, because we were getting ready to move. And they were like, you can take it with you, or be sure to leave a photo of your family behind for it. And I was like, no.
No. Thanks, though.
Yeah.
If you need us, we'll be at.
Right. No.
Please forward any
Yeah.
any spirits to this address.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, but don't ask me to pay for any deliveries.
Yeah.
They have to pay their own postage.
Yeah. Chip, seriously.
Yeah, we did see your dad in the Gaffney house. That was wild.
Mm-hmm.
I had never met him before, so when we were talking about him and I looked over, like, it was hard to miss because we just happened to be talking with his sister about him, and all of a sudden the lights flicker off. A shelf full of photos falls over, and we look in that vicinity, and down in the darkness to the hallway is this really tall, like, beam of light figure. And all I know about my father-in-law is that he was super, super tall, big guy. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, what is that? Are you guys seeing this? And then once we turned the lights on and stuff, we heard down the hallway our son giggling. And he had been, like, fast asleep and was giggling. And we were like, oh, he came. That was trippy.
It's trippy how we just like instantly knew that it was my dad too, because
Yeah.
I saw it like through the hallway, and he was like walking through like a doorway to get to the hall, and I don't know. It's you like look at somebody for so long, and then when you like see it again, because it wasn't like we saw him, like
Yeah.
it was like an outline.
For me, it looked like
Interesting. An outline.
Yeah, like imagine just seeing like a line of like part of his head and then his shoulder that was like right up to the top of the door frame.
Okay, so it wasn't like I was thinking of that SpongeBob where he had the pencil SpongeBob. I'm thinking of the outline, with the pencil. No, it was just like a part of it.
Yeah.
I saw him as, like, in the Snowman, that animated movie.
The animated.
Yeah, the animated movie where the snowman is like a big snowman, and he's got like broad shoulders, tall, and I was like, oh, that, because he looked that solid to me, just taking a walk down the hallway, but not like defined features,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like an energy that filled the space that he would have.
But yeah, like it didn't even like scare us. It didn't like scare me. It was just kind of like, I mean, it shocked me.
Shocked, yeah. The three of
Yeah.
us were like, because not only did we see it, the lights flicker off, a whole shelf full of pictures falls over. It was like boom, 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 and then we see him. It was just gnarly.
Yeah. It's like the shelf like falling is what got us to look over there, and then once we looked over there, we just like see it walk by.
Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy. I get what you mean about the outline though. After our grandma died, so I was asleep in my room, and my bed faced towards the door. It was like on this side, so my feet were here and the door's there. My door was open because on the other wall, that's where my kids slept. And so I had my door open and theirs in case I needed to go in there. And she had died that day, and I was laying on my back and I was asleep. But then something woke me up, and I looked over towards the doorway, and I saw like her outline standing there. And I mean, I saw a little bit more defined than just like the line, but there was like a weird colored light coming from behind her, and she was just like watching me. But she looked like a younger version of herself, not like her age when she died. And and I see her just like watching me, and then she like smiled and like turned away and walked to the boys' room, and I was like frozen, like, what the hell did I just see?
Yeah.
And then when she was gone from my view, I could hear my youngest giggling in his sleep. And I was like so like frozen, like, what the heck was that? Was that my grandma? But it took me maybe like 3 or 4 minutes to get the courage to get up and go make sure the kids were okay.
Yeah.
You know, some stuff like listening to and reading different mediums or clairvoyance or whatever, and sometimes they talk about how when you're thinking about, like you would have been thinking about her, she just passed, then that brings their energy to you sometimes. That so that makes sense to me, you know.
Yeah.
So I did just remember this time at the Sherman house when I was painting the stairwell, and as I was painting, I just was thinking about. I was in college at the time, and I was a late bloomer, so I was pretty old. But I was thinking about my grandmother who had passed, and my stepdad, just people in my life that had passed away. And did they know that I was trying to do something better with my life? And so I just had that all in my head as I was painting away, you know. And there was a toy up in y'all's room that kept going off. And it was a little Barbie toy, but there was no reason why it was going off. But stuff like that, it's like it was going off. I felt it at the time that it was like a validation but even more so now that I've seen or heard and read so many mediums, for instance, that say it's a validation of, you know, and I think that's what it was. It was just like, buckle up for safety. And I'm like, I go in there because nobody's home but me, you know, and the toy is there and nobody's touching it. How can you even be going off? And I'm like looking at the toy, whatever, put it back down. And I'm just like, I know that was a validation to me that, yes, we know. And I mean, it sounds silly, whatever, but I just knew it. I just knew it. It went off quite a few times. Buckle up.
Like someone
Buckle up for safety. I'm like, okay, I'm just painting.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, actually, for me, it was like, I hope you know that I'm not just, you know, this loser. So that I hope you're proud of me kind of feeling. And I just felt that was like, yes, we are kind of a validation.
There's a time where in the Lancaster house that we lived in, when the babies were like, my kids were really young and they slept in my room. They had their own room with their crib and the bassinet and the changing table, but they did not sleep in there. So but it was one day we were taking a nap and I was trying to like slither out of the room so I could go clean or something, and there was a toy in their room that if you slid it across the ground, then it would like sing a song. It was like the
airplane
types thing. And I was like sliding out, and so my door to my bedroom is open and the kids are sleeping and I'm trying to like get out of there quickly, and I like get one leg off the bed and then I hear it like slide and I hear the music start and I like froze because they had a huge window in their room, and I just automatically was like, did someone break in and like accidentally kick this toy across the room? So I like froze for a second, and then I like slithered out more and like got up and I was like looking to try to see if there was any shadows or anything moving, and there wasn't, but it just kept going. And when I went in, it was slid all the way across the room. And it's not like this house was like on a tilt or anything weird. It was, and it had sat in that other place probably for months because the kids
So
never.
it wasn't the Oklahoma home that was like sinking. It wasn't.
The Oklahoma home was definitely in a sinkhole, so that one was different.
Wasn't that one okay?
No big deal. But no, the one in Lancaster, that was fine, and it just.
Sorry, Josh. It's Chip that's like.
No,
He's told. I'm gonna be on top of Josh in a minute because Chip's butt just keeps taking more of my space.
The Astoria house with the really active ghost that kicked me out for like a week. Mom had just left. She had like come out with me and the kids Josh was deployed. So we were like setting up the house and getting settled in the house, and Mom had just left to the airport to head back home. And I'm like laying down, and all of a sudden, one of their fire trucks comes going down the hallway, and it's like the buttons are pushed, like going off, and you're just like, okie dokie.
Yeah, kids, not only are kids creepy, like coming out in the middle of the night, sleepwalking and shit, but then they've got the creepiest toys that are just like really easy. Like, because even when like ghost hunting shows, they use like a ball or like a teddy bear or a singing song toy. And it's like, why are kids shit so creepy?
Yeah. It's probably easy to manipulate with a little bit of energy. I don't know.
Yeah, that's probably it.
But I just want to throw out one more time, even though lots of things, I can't think of a bunch of them right now, but things have happened throughout all of our lives, obviously. But yeah, I've never felt anything like evil or demonic. It's and when I have fear or anything like that come into me, then I automatically push it away through prayer. So you know, I don't mind that spirits come and visit and let us know they're there through different ways. In fact, it's actually kind of nice.
Mm-hmm.
So try to think of it positively. That's me.
Yeah.
Yes, there's ghosts here, but so what?
Fine. I like that line.
Thank you, Twisted listeners, for tuning in, and thank you for our guests for joining us today.
Yes, and again, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, you can see all of us are together and our beautiful guests that are on the other screen as well. Our YouTube is 3 Twisted Sisters Podcast. We would love to hear any cool stories that you guys have, so definitely let us know. Either comment on our YouTube, follow us, or message us on Instagram or TikTok at _Twisted Sisters, or send us an email to 3twistedsisterspodcast@gmail.com. The dogs are super excited to say hi as well, so let us know your guys' stories.
Yes. And other than that, we hope you have safe travels for the holiday. You guys have a wonderful holiday season so far, and take care.
And stay
twisted. Oh, Jim's doing it too.